Brandon. You don't want it?
I mean, I don't know what it is.
Here you go. Can I have that?
Here, let me take that.
Judy Barnes, and then questions.
Just want to first off say congratulations to NAU. Lori Payne's done a really good job there. I go way back with Lori, back from our Seattle days, but she's done a phenomenal job at NAU. And they beat us twice this year. They beat us there, and they came here and manhandled us again tonight. So, congrats to her, and I hope they go far in the WBIT. And yeah, they did a really good job.
What was that last play that didn't come off?
The play was it was going to be a quick shot for a double stagger for Brea, and we knew two things. For Isis actually, we knew Isis would be open for a right-handed layup, or if not, the guard at the top would be open. And I think Sky. It's hard in those moments to realize, but Sky was open, and she's a really good three-point shooter. But I think she felt like there wasn't time on the clock. But those are hard.
Time, yeah.
Those are hard situations to recognize. But my philosophy, and as a coach, it never comes down to the last play. If you look at, it's never the last play that defines winning and losing. Because if we would have made a shot, it's a very hard shot. I think it comes down to the toughness and the lack of communication from the beginning of the game. It comes down to the 13 offensive rebounds in the first half. It comes down to the lack of sprinting back in transition defense. It comes down to those little things, and they accumulate, and then you dig yourself a hole, and you make it really hard to win. So, I think they outplayed us, and I think they wanted it more. And I don't think we wanted to play, and I don't think we wanted it.
Sky, you pushed through, and not the last play, we'll forget about that. The rest of the game, you played really well. Just how do you feel about how things went tonight, and how do you feel about yourself for going through and pushing through?
I think you could tell we ain't played in a minute. It didn't look like how we kind of finished off. Like, even though we lost against Colorado, we were actually playing better basketball. Today, we didn't really play good basketball, to be honest. Our transition was bad. We're a pretty athletic team. Our defense wasn't that good. We normally cause a lot of turnovers. We only caused, 14 today. So I think we're a little out of sorts.
And Brea, you stayed out of foul trouble today. Put up a double-double. You had a bunch of blocks. What were you seeing out there? Because I know it's been hard for you. It's usually hard for you to guard a guard, right? And to guard players who are shorter than you. What seemed to be working for you today, or what did you see that allowed you to do that?
I don't know. I was just conscious of fouls, giving space, rather than getting up and getting beat and then risking a foul. So I was just more conscious of my positioning on the floor on defense, and knowing that, especially now that I need to stay in the game. So just letting certain things go and being able to stay on the floor.
2-3 zone seemed to really get you guys.
We were 5 for 24.
Yeah.
20.8%. You're not going to win again. And they played zone 38 minutes on makes and misses. Very hard to play a zone on a miss. You have to get the ball. If we got the ball as fast as they did, we'd get some transition baskets. So, but they were 1 for 17. They were shooting 5%. Or no, less than that. I think 0.05, whatever, percent in the first half. And then that they went on a run and scored 25 points in the quarter, which really hurt us. So.
Felt like that 9-0 run there in the third quarter was what just broke.
For sure.
What happened there?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have really subs to go to, so there's times in the games where we needed to make substitutions and change matchups, and we couldn't. We didn't have a lot of stuff we needed coming off the bench. It's not like we had shooters coming off the bench, so it's harder with Paulina starting, who can shoot, Lauren, who can shoot, then Maylene coming in, it's more of a defensive lineup. And, Isis is a more effective passer against the zone than John Katarina, so it was hard. But that's not an excuse. I think that despite all of those things, you can control your effort. You can control boxing out. You can control transition defense, because that's an effort thing. So those are effort things. Those are control. It doesn't take skill. It doesn't take height. It doesn't take athleticism. It takes want. And I think that there were a lot of times they wanted it more. They out-hustled us for 50-50 balls, and those things are unacceptable. And you're not going to win games like that. So there can be any scheme in the world. We can have more talent. We could have Michael Jordan on the team. If you don't play hard, you're still not going to win. Maybe with Michael Jordan you would win, or Brittany Griner, but I'll take that back. And he'd have to have 100 points. But you're just not going to if you don't want it more and you don't win those 50-50 balls. Those are want plays. And they were diving on the floor, and they got them. Out of probably, I haven't seen the film, but out of probably 8 50-50 balls, they probably got 7 of them. So, you got 1? You got 2?
No, one of them.
Okay, so
was
we
really
got
trying for that.
okay,
We
so we
was
got
really
2.
trying.
No, and it's not that we didn't play hard all the time, but in bunches, I think the things that like offensive rebounds, 13 offensive rebounds, they start 4 guards and an undersized post. So they start 4 guards and a 5 that's a 4. That's 6'2". We are bigger, a little bit more athletic. So you cannot give up. Those are things that you can do to win games. So, but going into this WBIT, I did not think we were going to win the WBIT. I felt very different going into the WNIT in 2019. We wanted to win it. We wanted to play. We did not want to play here. We were discouraged from not being in the NCAA tournament. And so we didn't, I'm not saying everybody didn't, but overall, collectively, we didn't want to win. We were indifferent. And that's how we played. So I'm not surprised at the result, to be honest.
For you, Brea, or Skylar, what was that you came out and you just, as collectively as a team, that it just wasn't there? I mean, isn't that wouldn't you want it? It's still postseason play. It's a game. Every game you should go out and want to win. What was it for you guys that just, it wasn't there?
As a team, like you played hard. I'm just saying as a team. Did everybody want to play in it?
No. Everybody didn't want to play. You could kind of tell during practice, though. Like, practice yesterday wasn't really that good. Our practices haven't been good. Sal has been screaming at us from head to toe, telling us to talk and stuff. Like, you could just tell in the vibes like that. Yeah, they come to our house, but then again, like, they beat us by 20 there, and they play hard. Like, one thing, like, they play hard. I got to give it to them. Their big is good. Their guards know how to get her open. They know how to run the floor. Yeah, all that. And I would say not all of us came out with that same intensity. Even though because I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't really want to play. I told y'all that in the other press conference. I was in pain. I didn't really want to play, but I still was like, if I'm gonna play, I'm gonna go hard. I'm at least try, and I feel like I did that. I feel like they did that too. I'm not discounting nobody else's effort, but I feel like 3 people up here, we tried, and she a senior, she didn't want to go out like that, so it's kind of hard for her. The last game, Michaela to be like that.
And to their defense, like these are young kids. We're talking about like 18 and 22-year-olds. It is hard. Like, we're a team that should be going to the tournament. We've established that. We've built that here at Arizona, where the expectation is to do a lot of things. The expectation is to go to the tournament, and that's our expectation too. I think for a young person, it's very hard to be close and have that mindset you want to go to the tournament. We did it last year with 6 people, and then you don't reach that goal. So I think there's a mindset, and we talked about that. So when that doesn't happen, you don't get what you want, what do you do? And I think this is a life lesson for them, because there's gonna be things in life, like you're gonna have to do what you don't wanna do. You may not wanna go to work. You may be on a pro team I talked to them about that you don't play, but there's different things that happen, but you still compete and you give it your all when you're in, and you shift your mentality. Lauren's over here dying. But I think that, it's not easy, because everybody wants to go to the NCAA tournament, and that's where we should be. But we didn't take care of business at certain times, and we're here. But this is a really competitive tournament. This is ran first class. And we had an opportunity to get revenge on a team, but we didn't show up. And I think as a coach, that's hard. I mean, I want to be in the NCAA tournament too. I never thought that I would be talking my 9th year somewhere that we wouldn't be in a tournament. That wasn't something I ever envisioned in my career, and it will be the last time. So.
Now that it's over, what are you going to remember most about this experience, and what do you want people to know about this program?
I remember the fans the most. They're showing a lot of love. A few of my teammates I'm going to miss. I'm not going to lie up here. I'm not going to lie. I'm only going to miss a few.
Don't worry. Every team I've been on, I've only missed a few of my teammates.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I miss the coaches. Just the city, Pretty much it. What's next? We'll see. I don't know. I really don't know. I just want to go to sleep tonight and set no alarm.
And no practice tomorrow, so.
Skylar and Brea, what does
Go ahead. Isis brought a lot to this team. Her being one of our only fifth years with all the experience. She's kind of a mentor for a lot of us young players. She set a standard for us in some ways in practice and in games. I think how she played hard every game, so just I think missing that piece next year is going to be hard for us. It's going to have to be a gap that we're going to have to fill, but yeah. Even last year, I feel like Isis had the same role she had this year. Everybody else just didn't know it because she didn't want to look at the ball and score. I think this year she looked at the ball and scored and showed everybody that she was probably the most improved player in the Big 12. As a person, she's just a good person overall. Like, she's like our mom. She gonna let us know when we right and wrong. So it's good to have somebody like that. Like, that was my roommate last year, so I know she always got my back and stuff. So I think it's gonna be hard to fill her voice. Like, Poyo and Ez, like, they were always there for us. They're like one of those older people. Like, 'cause we're young. I'm still 19. Like, I have a lot to learn, a lot to do, and they've lived what I'm going through now. So when I go through hard things, she's always there. So
And she was our only really true experienced player, and she just got more experience the last 2 years on the court. So we're a young team.
Break with 10 days off, 7 of them, no practice. Do you think that showed out there with the effort?
Zero. I think that was zero significance. I think if we would have practiced, we probably would have performed worse. Because if you have, I think mentally for players, I think there comes in a time where there's like diminishing returns. Having practiced the whole week would have been diminishing returns because they didn't really want to be there. They didn't want to play. Some people's heads are in the portal. Some people's heads are this and that. Then we're not in the NCAA tournament. So, no, that would have been worse. We would have performed worse. So I think that mental break, off for them was good. I think it let everybody step back and figure things out. But it's a long time. I don't like that. Even when we're preparing for the NCAA tournament, I don't like that long gap. Because it's hard. You don't know who you're playing. It's just a really weird space. And I think it's unfortunate. I don't like the way that's set up at all. So if I made the rules, I would change that. But yeah, zero significance. Because even with that, that doesn't affect your effort and energy and focus and mentality.
Every challenge brings a lesson.
Yes.
I've
I've learned a lot of lessons this season.
I was just going to say, when you look at the whole season, what do you think are like maybe the top 2 lessons that you can take away from this season?
I think that you're not going to change like who someone is. You're not going to change people. People are who they are, and I think you can't coach and motivate people. And I think, and not everybody, but I think you have to coach them or motivate. And I think that going back to what we did years ago, and just we need to have a dog mentality and find dogs that really want it and that are fierce competitors, that step on the floor and they're dogs. Like that's what we had, and we were really good. And I think we've gone away from that a lot. And then it's hard to win with young players. And I realized that. And I think that there was differences. With the information you're given, you make decisions. So hindsight's always 20/20. But I make decisions off of information. I don't make any impulsive decisions. I think things out and weigh every option. That's how I am. But I think that I really kept the young team this year. And it's hard to win with a young team. And we needed more experience. And we had that last year with Playo and Ismeri. And we weren't great last year. We were good, though. But I think you need veteran leaders. You need veteran leaders that want to go play pro, that want to go get better, that want to do skill work, not that you have to extract those things. I mean, I've coached Kelsey Plum. I've played with some of the best players in the world. They were my teammates and stuff, and I know what that looks like. And it's hard to find with this generation, and you have to have that to be good. So we're going to find that and figure that out and add the right pieces to be successful.
When you look back at what basketball used to be in college and now with the NIL and with the portal, those young teams that was important because you were coaching them and bringing them along for that 4 years, probably at your university.
Yeah.
Totally different world now.
Completely different. And it'll shift the way I recruit, and it's going to shift the way I coach. And that's an experience thing, but this was uncharted territory. It was stuff you didn't know, and when I was making those decisions years ago, it was strategic, and it was to build a core of young players because we were getting so many fifth years. Then young players don't play, then they transfer. But they transfer anyways. So you need to get players to help you win now. And it's what the unfortunate thing with the way our model is, which I do not like the model, it's going to kill high schools. It's going to kill high school women's basketball players because people aren't going to recruit them. They're going to go get the best kids they can for the most money they can, and they're going to win with those kids. And that's what, we have to win games. And I think that models the way it is. And so you have to pivot and change to be successful, or you don't, and then you get left behind. And we needed more experience, and we needed some players that were preparing to go play pro and that love basketball this year. And that would have helped us. I mean, you guys would probably agree. Some experienced dogs that they're like living, they're trying to go play pro.
Defender.
And that's a mentality. And it's hard because for me, coming from the pros for 13 years and coaching the Kelsey Plums and a lot of different All-Americans, it's like they really want it. And they breathe it every day. And I think most of the kids, they say they love basketball because it sounds good, but they really don't. They don't want to do skill work. They don't want to be in the gym. They don't want to put their all into it. And it's a different mentality than like we had. And so that's the reality. So you have to get the players that you want to coach that are going to be a mirror of what you were. And I think, we're going to do that.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh.